कमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं चाक्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सगन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Can you come a little bit? Yes. Thank you. रंग बोलते हवे पुलक शरीरा हरि हरि बोलते नयने बवे नीरा गौरांग बोलते हवे पुलक शरीरा हरि हरि बोलते नयने बवे हार कवे निताय चांदे करुणा होइबे संसार वसन मोर कवे तुच्छ हवे हार कवे निताय चांदे करुणा हुए रे संसार वसन मोर अबे हम रूप रघुनाथ परे होए रे कबे हम भुजबो से युगल प्रीति रूप रघुनाथ परे होए रे आकुति कबे हम भुजबो से रूप रघुनाथ पदे रहु मोर आशा प्रार्थना करो ये सदा नरोत्तम दास Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, जगन्नाथ प्रति सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताई की, श्री श्री राधा माधव की, श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, समावेत भक्त वृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद, जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद, जय श्री श्री गौरताई की, पंचतत्व की। Welcome all of you for this morning session today on the cleansing of the Gundica temple part 1 today.
Hari Hari.
You are able to see, is it big enough for you?
Hare Krishna. We are very happy to have His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu with us at ISKCON Cultural Center. So Prabhuji is giving his association today and also on Sunday morning. So Prabhuji will be speaking on the topic of lessons from Gundica Marjanam, because Snan Yatra is coming and then Rath Yatra is also coming. So very wonderful lessons. I had heard this lecture from Prabhuji in Pune, so I felt that is also relevant for all of us. So we gave that topic. So let's welcome Prabhuji to our temple by chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hey matana narange dinakata gela, Jagannath tera ratha yatra nikata hayla. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent many days in great jubilation, chanting, dancing in Jagannath Puri. At one point of time, the Jagannath Rath Yatra came very near. Just like here also it's coming very near. When are you celebrating, all of you here? 20, 20? Today is 1, you have 20 more days to prepare. So, every year such festivals approach gradually. Like for example, Narsimha Chaturdashi we have celebrated so many times. Jagannath Rath Yatra we have celebrated so many times. Janmashtami so many times. So what should a devotee do every year when the festival comes? So we can just go through the festival, or we can grow in our consciousness by taking advantage of those festivals. So different devotees do different things. I will share some ideas with you. His one is Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj. What he does, every Janmashtami, he goes through the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he will finish 4 or 5 chapters. First 5 chapters he finishes, and then next Janmashtami 6 to 10, like that he'll finish. Like that he has been gradually completing from the Srimad Bhagavatam some few chapters every year. So once he was doing Krishna book also like that. So he was telling that every year can be a year of progressive knowledge, more about the Lord's pastimes, his activities. That is one of the things we can do. Another thing devotees do, it should be something connected to the festival. Like for example, now Narsimha Chaturdashi. So some devotees read the whole Narsimha Leela, from the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto 1 to 10 chapters. 10 chapters they completed during, just before Narsimha Chaturdashi. They started maybe a month ago or something. They completed studying it nicely. And then on the day of Narsimha Chaturdashi, already Lord Narsimha has come out of the pillar and all the devatas assembled and Prahlada offered prayers. You have read all of it. So on that day, you have a very, very powerful consciousness. In a prayerful mood, you approach that pastime, isn't it? On the day when Lord is manifesting himself. So, and if you see in an airport, the aeroplane first builds up the propeller. You've seen that? Very fastly they will rotate it. And it because that is what propels it up. But on the ground level, they prepare and keep it. Just like if you have a helium in a balloon, and you have pinned it down by putting a nylon thread or something, you cut the nylon thread, it will go off. Similarly, the propeller propels the plane on a ground level, but it is kept on the ground. When the control on the ground is taken off, it will go up. And then it goes through a runway and then it goes up. Similarly, what is in spiritual life, what is the meaning of propelling ourselves? That is prayerful mood. So preparing a prayerful mood. Prayerful mood is a secret of spiritual absorption. And becoming oblivious to the external material world. Even if you are in the midst of a fish market, people are shouting, yelling, you will be undisturbed if you have already prepared your consciousness. So, in the prayerful mode, external senses, even if they are open, eyes are open, ears are open, they will not be disturbed by the external environment. So, one's prayerful mood helps one to withdraw, just like a tortoise withdraws its senses inwardly. And so, it can't be damaged by anyone outside. Similarly, your Krishna consciousness cannot be damaged by external agents if we can propel our consciousness. So, for propelling, posting our consciousness on the transcendental platform, just like Uddhava had done. We read in the Vidura Uddhava Samvad, Vidura asked Uddhava some questions about Krishna. As soon as Uddhava heard it, tears were streaming from his eyes like Ganga and Yamuna. And he became silent for some time. And then he slowly opened his eyes, he came to external consciousness. At that time, Prabhupada says, Uddhava descended from Vaikuntha into this world. And then he spoke, he says. And then Prabhupada elaborates on the purport, saying that, Uddhava, why is it said he is coming from Vaikuntha? Because his consciousness was posted in Vaikuntha. He brought it from there to the earth now. And he came to his external senses. Okay, Vidura is standing, is asking questions, let me answer now. Like that. So that means we can be physically moving on the surface of the globe, but our consciousness should be posted on the spiritual platform. So that is the meaning of prayerful mode. So Uddhava actually was constantly absorbed in Krishna. So although he was very old in age, when Vidura asked the question, he became very jubilant. And with great spiritual enthusiasm, Uddhava started narrating all the pastimes of Krishna after that. So how he was narrating, he was actually watching it in his consciousness. So the consciousness of a pure devotee is like a playground of Lord's pastimes in the spiritual world. It's like Goloka channel. He can connect to Goloka channel and speak continuously pastimes of the Lord. So the same man, Lord Chaitanya, was spending his time very jubilantly in Jagannath Puri Dham. And then the car festival of Lord Jagannatha approached. So whenever any festival approaches, the festival Utsavam is a very important part of Vaishnava's life. So in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, out of 365 days, I heard more than 250 days they have some Utsavam. That means almost every day they have some Utsavam, small or big. Some Utsavams are like 1 or 2 hours only. Some are half a day, some are full day. And fasting also is accordingly done, isn't it? Sometimes fasting till noon, sometimes fasting till dusk, sometimes fasting till moonrise, or fasting till midnight or whatever. So the whole idea of fasting is that devotees can avoid all anxiety about food and cooking and grocery and everything and just focus completely on. Just like yesterday we had Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi. So here is Lord Jagannatha's Rath festival is approaching. A very important festival where Lord Krishna and his brother Balarama and sister Subhadra are brought from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan by Srimati Radharani and the gopis, putting these 3 personalities on the chariot. And Krishna is helplessly pulled back to Vrindavan, although he has his duty calling him in Dwaraka. So it's a confusion for Krishna. What should I do? It's a confusion arising from love. Just like a man sometimes has a newborn baby at home. His wife is tending to the needs of the tender child, 1 or 2 months old. Man feels just stay at home with the wife and just keep watching the child. But he has to go to office also. So on one hand, his office duty pulls him. On the other hand, his love for the family pulls him. He is dragged between the two. Similarly, for him, for Krishna, the home is Vrindavan. And Dwaraka is like his His duty is calling him there. So therefore Jagannath becomes ecstatic with big eyes, dilated eyes, and he is being pulled back to Vrindavan. So it's a very important festival for Gaudiya Vaishnavas because you see, why did Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put his base in Jagannath Puri instead of Vrindavan or Mayapur? One can ask the question. Like, one reason many will give is they will say that Sachimata asked him to be in Puri, so Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri. That's one very straightforward answer. In Shantipur, Sachimata had told him. But actually, Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He only made Sachimata make that choice. Because he has preferred this place, Jagannath Puri, because in Navadvip, his own place of appearance, there were Nindakas and Paduyas and, people who were offenders and blasphemers, and they were jnanis and yogis and karmakandi Brahmins. And they were not willing to open their heart to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, that is mentioned. Therefore, Mahaprabhu left that place. And he could have gone to Vrindavan, which is his favorite place, which he went to after his sannyas, because that is his own home also, Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan is a sweet abode, where when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, there is one famous song, Dule Dule Gora Chan, isn't it? The song says how he was welcomed in Vrindavan by all the creatures. Still, he purposefully didn't stay in Vrindavan, and he stayed in Puri, because Puri is called as Vipralambadam. It's an abode of separation, where Radharani is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Radharani's mood, and is watching Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Jagannath is ecstatic Krishna. So she is looking at ecstatic Krishna and pulling him back to Vrindavan. And Krishna is looking at Radharani's dancing, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing, is observed by Jagannath. And Krishna is helpless in giving any excuses in staying back in Dwaraka. So Krishna is feeling separation from Vrijabasis, and Vrijabasis are feeling separation from Krishna. And that is Jagannath Puri. It is Viraha Vidura, two of the personalities. Both Krishna and his devotees, they both are in great separation, trying to get Krishna back to Vrindavan. So it is not that only Vrijabasis are feeling separation from Krishna, not having Krishna there. Even he is feeling also. So therefore Mahaprabhu stayed there, because the topmost pinnacle of Gaudiya Vaishnava understanding is, Prabhupada says, one should engage in varieties of services in devotional service, and while rendering those services in the heart, one should cultivate feelings of loving separation from Krishna. If you do that, you have attained the highest point in the understanding of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. So, externally doing, some people say, Prabhu, I like service more. Sometimes our service can be driven by passion also, mode of passion, because I like this, I like that. So, it's based on I like and you like. Anyway, it's not a bad idea to begin doing some service even in mode of passion also. Eventually you'll get purified. But the service is ideally to be done on the order of spiritual master and superiors. And the service is even more nicely done, and when Guru becomes most pleased with the disciple who has attained the right attitude of feelings of separation in the heart. So, longing for Krishna, feeling separation from Krishna, as Lord Chaitanya said, Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. One time, some disciples were in America going to distribute back to Godhead magazines. So some impersonalists saw them and told them, see, you guys are calling out Hare Krishna in the streets, dancing. Why are you so weak-hearted? You are crying for God. Look at us. We are so mature and so calm. And we don't cry for anybody. We are very stable. Our mind and senses are controlled, they were saying. So disciples came back to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, they are calling us as sentimental fools. We are crying and we are dancing, and they are very stable in their emotion. Prabhupada said, they are bluffing you. Prabhupada said, if somebody does not have emotion, he is a stone. He said, he is nothing but a stone, that's all. He said, either you should have spiritual emotion, or you'll be forced to have material emotion. It is guaranteed. If one is not feeling separation from Krishna, you are definitely feeling separation from Maya. You can see there are many students in the college, when you go for preaching, they say, hey, we are not interested in Hare Krishna, get lost. We won't come for the class. But you go to the room and see there is a big poster of cinema actress. And a top to bottom in the wall, they will put it. And that means they become simply dogs, slaves of such material heroes and heroines who become zeros over time. So if you are not a Krishna devotee, you will be a devotee of some Bollywood, Hollywood actor, actress. You will see that. Guaranteed. Some cricket specialist or some politician or some cinema actor, actress, some hero, heroine. You will see that because attraction principle is there in everyone's heart. So we have to first feel some attraction, and then there can be feelings of separation from the Lord. Therefore, our purpose of studying Prabhupada books is to find Krishna. In those books, find Krishna, fall in love with Krishna, and feel separation from him with the desire, when will I meet him? When will the time come? So that is actually the mood what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu adopted while living in Jagannath Puri. And in every moment he was in that mood. And this pastime of Jagannath Rath Yatra also is performing in the same mood. So the car festival is approaching now. Pratame Kashi Mishre Prabhu Bola Ela Padicha Patra Sarvame Bolaya Anila. So Mahaprabhu called Kashi Mishra, and now Mahaprabhu is going to talk to the temple authorities, requesting them permission to clean the temple. Like you will see here. He called, then he called for the superintendent of the temple. Then Sarvamata also he called. And then he's telling them that when these three people came before the Lord, Kashi Mishra, Sarvamata and the temple superintendent, Mahaprabhu, he begged them for permission to wash the temple known as Gundica. See, here he is saying, Gundica Mandira Marjana Seva Magi Anila. He obtained that service, he is saying. That means the temple authorities are the service awarders. One should obtain a service from them. Which actually means this correct outlook is very important. When we go to any ISKCON temple, there are some trustees who are like temple management council members. Then there is president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. Every temple has some authorities. So they are actually appointed servants of the Lord in the temple, overseeing the activities of the temple, bringing funds for the temple, making construction, providing facilities for the bhaktas who come there. So anyone who wants to do any particular service is supposed to go and beg for service. Please engage me in service, because on behalf of the Guru Parampara, they are engaging in service. So in ISKCON, generally people have a notion that the spiritual master, on behalf of the Radharani and the Guru Parampara, he awards service. But it is a well-known fact that the spiritual masters are traveling around all over the world. They are not round the clock available. So they actually depend on the local authorities for running the temple to award the service. So those devotees who say, I will only please the spiritual master and I don't care about the local authorities, eventually they will displease the spiritual master over time. You will see that. Because the spiritual master often gets report about the disciple from whom? Yeah, from authorities only. So some people argue that what if the temple authorities are not pure devotees like my spiritual master? Why should we obey them? Therefore, you will see the Shastras teach us that when you are obedient to the temple authorities, actually you are pleasing your spiritual master. Because you are not giving headache to Guru. Guru can be peaceful because Guru will get good report from the temple authorities that this disciple is doing well. So these are all very subtle things. Like Mahaprabhu put Sarup Damodar, Mahaprabhu put Raghunath Das Goswami under Sarup Damodar. And he told Raghunath Das, whatever you need to know, he will tell you. At one time, Raghunath Das approached Sarup Damodar and said, I want to ask some questions to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Sarup Damodar's authority, isn't it? And Sarup Damodar said, I'll take you, come with me. So when he took him to Mahaprabhu and asked questions, Raghunath Das asked him, what is my duty? I am a renunciate now. And Mahaprabhu told him, see, whatever I need to tell you, Sarup Damodar is competent to tell you. He knows everything. Whatever I want to tell you. Still, since you have approached me, I will tell you, Balana Kaive, Balana Puribe, Hridite Sarvada, Radhakshana Sevibe, Gramya Vartana, Shunibe, Gramya Vartana Kahibe, all that he told him. And then he told him, elaboration of this, what I told you now, that you can hear from Swarup Damodar. So now Swarup Damodar is like immediate authority for Raghunath Das. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like higher authority for him. So there is no clash between Swarup Damodar and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar doesn't say, why do you want to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I am there. He doesn't say like that. Okay, I will take you. We go and meet him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't say, yeah, good that you came to me. That fellow doesn't know anything. And I will tell you everything. He doesn't say that. Mahaprabhu says, he knows everything. But whatever I am telling you, he will elaborate. So that's a good understanding, you can say. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is he? He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Does he have to beg any service from anybody? But here you see, he begged them for permission to wash the temple known as Gundica. He is setting an example for every devotee. How a devotee, in what mood a devotee should approach. There are people who come to ISKCON temples and create so much mess because of becoming very political and creating so much havoc. That's all because of wrong attitudes. The right attitude is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And this is the way he knows the temple superintendent and others. Now you will see what they will respond back. When Mahaprabhu begged for service, just see what they are going to say. परिचा कहे हमें सब सेवक तुम्हारा, ये तुम्हारा इच्छा से ही कर्तव्य हमारा. See what the superintendent is saying. Hami sab sevaka tumar. We all are your servants. Why should you beg for service from us, Lord? You are the Lord, we are your servants. Ye tumhara ichha se kartavya hamara. Our duty is to simply execute your desires. You tell us pick this and put it there, we'll pick it and put it there. You are supposed to order us. You are not supposed to beg from us. See, that's the right consciousness on their part. Similarly, those who are taking authoritative roles in temples, on one angle I told you that they are the service awarders, they are responsible for the running of the temple, bringing funds and construction, everything. It's true. At the same time, what is their consciousness? All the people coming to temple, they are all guests of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. They are special guests and they are very dear to the Lord. And we are simply holders of facilities which we have to provide these people. If you provide these people facility to do seva, then Jagannath will become pleased with us. That is their mode. So we are just facilitators. We are not boss. We are just facilitators. We are here to facilitate them with whatever you want. Okay, you want to put a book table outside? Okay, we'll give you a table to put. What do you want? You want a mic to announce? Okay, please take the mic. You want Harinam Sankirtan to be done somewhere? Immediately you send, okay, we'll give you Mridangam, Kartal, everything, take it. You go and do it. Whatever facilities congregation devotees are asking, temple is actually here to provide them the facility. Because the congregation is inspired in their heart to serve the Lord, and we should be very happy with that. Temple authorities feel very happy that, oh, here are some jivas who want to serve the Lord. Let us facilitate them. That mode they should have. That's why they are saying, Hami sab sevaka tumar. Ye tumhare ichha se hi kartavya hamara. Our duty is to simply fulfill your desire, my dear Lord. They're saying. विशेष राजा आज्ञा है अच्छे हमारे प्रभु आज्ञा ये से शीघ्र करिबारे. The king gave a special order for me to do without delay whatever your lordship orders. The king had already told, Prataprudra had told the superintendent, whatever Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu orders you, immediately you should fulfill it without delay. Not only what he orders, whatever he desires also you should fulfill. He said, Ingita Bujya, he said, you should know his heart. Sometimes he may hesitate to ask something, but you should not wait for him to beg something. Without even asking, you should provide. For example, Like I have a vehicle department in the temple. So, and we have a Sankirtan department in the temple. Long before, many years before, probably 10, 15 years ago in Pune, one time, one congregation devotee came and said, Prabhu, I have to go to office at 9:30. I want to take some Prabhupada books for distributing. But your Sankirtan department, they are saying that the office will open only at 10 o'clock. You cannot get. I immediately called the Sankirtan department. I said, what department are you running? Huh? Here is a congregation who want to distribute books. I said, any time of the day, if somebody wakes me up at midnight also, I will open the Sankirtan store and I'll give the books. Because Prabhupada desperately wanted his books to go. At least somebody has that sincerity to want to distribute books. He said, no, Prabhuji, our sadhana gets affected. So till 10 o'clock, we have decided not to open the stall. Immediately changed that fellow. You are no more fit for this department. Because if you don't have the spirit of being abundant in mentality, so now the person who is running this department is such an intelligent devotee. What to speak of him opening and giving you? In different parts of the city, he has opened godowns in the homes of devotees. Any place in Pune you want to take books, you call him, he will say, go to that godown and take books. Go in here and take books. And he goes to every group of congregation and gives classes, shows videos. And anybody who distributes nicely, he sends special temple Mahaprasad for them. And we have prizes at the end. So now Pune has been ranking first in the marathon many years, 4 or 5 years now. So we have to know that he's a devotee with a very good attitude, that we are here to serve. We are here to facilitate. Like that. Similarly, vehicle department. Somebody comes and says, congregation says, Prabhu, we don't have a vehicle to take the books. So immediately vehicle department says, Prabhu, tell me which vehicle you want, take it. Go and distribute. So that's what he's saying. The king had given a special order to us that whatever Lord Chaitanya desires to serve, that should be provided, facilities should be provided immediately. Tomara yogya seva nahe mandira marjana. ये कालीला करा ये तुम्हारा मना. My dear Lord, you are not supposed to cleanse the Gundica temple. We ourselves, and we have our servants, other servants, we all will throw water and we will clean it, and you are supposed to supervise and tell us whether you are satisfied with the service. Not that you yourself want to do the service. And in case you insist that you want to do this service, that means it's your leela. It's for the sake of pastime you are eager to cleanse the temple. Just like, so imagine our Prime Minister of India is going to garden and taking a hose pipe and watering the plants. Like one time, on one day, they planted 8 crore plants in India, different places. Prime Minister of India went and he personally planted and he watered it. Now, is he a gardener that he is watering it? He's getting some monthly salary for that. He is a Prime Minister, he is not expected to do such things. But he is doing it. Why? Because when he is setting a premise or a precedent or example that everybody should increase the green and not increase the pollution, isn't it? So he is planning it in the same manner. Lord Chaitanya, he doesn't have to do this service. He is Krishna himself. But he is going to do this service in order to teach others that develop your eagerness for service. Develop your enthusiasm for service. There is one verse in the 3rd canto, 15th chapter, 21 verse. So it says, Shri Rupini Panayati Charanaravindam Leelambujena Harisad Manimukta Dosha Samlakshate Svatika Kudya Upeta Hemni Sammarjativa Yadanugrahanen Jayatnaha. In the spiritual world, goddess of fortune Lakshmi, who is very beautiful, Shri Rupini, it is said, and she is wearing a nupur or ankle bell in her lotus feet. And when she is walking, it makes sound. So that is the beauty of the spiritual world. Wherever Lakshmi resides, the whole place is very beautiful also. So she has a very costly dress and costly jewelry. She is wearing, she has a mukut and kundal. And in her hands, in one hand, she is rotating a lotus. She looks like a rich lady. Of course, she is not a rich lady. She is the source of all riches. Isn't it? And on the other hand, she is holding a jadu, a broomstick. Have you ever seen a rich lady have a broomstick? Especially in India. I'm not talking about America. In America, rich people also don't have servants there. It's very costly to have servants in America. But in India, have you ever seen a rich lady sweeping the floor? Generally, Indian homes, they have dozen servant maids. One servant maid for washing the pots, one for washing the clothes, one for taking care of the children, one for grocery purchase and all that. But here you find Lakshmi herself is taking a broomstick and sweeping. And the floor of Vaikuntha is like a mirror, it is said. There is no dust there, but still she is doing. Why is she doing? To see a smile on Lord Vishnu's face, it is said. So she is doing, King Prataprudra, King of Odisha is doing. So all these are showing us the example. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is doing to teach us the importance of practical service. Because if we too much spend our time only with books and we don't go out for distributing books and we don't cook, we don't worship the deity, we don't clean the floor, we don't chant and dance in the Kirtana and Harinama Sankirtan, then eventually we become bookworms. And our head becomes big, body becomes small. Correct? You've seen that some people with a big head, then we become only scholars, and we don't do practical service. So we should be ready for any menial service: cutting sabji, washing the pots, cooking, worshipping the deity, sweeping the floor, doing Harinam Sankirtan, regularly going out on book distribution. So all that one should be ready to do. Then our knowledge that we study from the books gets digested. Then you get practical realization. Otherwise, our knowledge will remain bookish knowledge. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita 1 purport, bookish knowledge without realization is useless. Like that he says. So if you want uselessness, we can just be theoretical philosophers. But here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to set an example. My dear Lord, washing the temple is not service befitting you. Nonetheless, if you wish to do so, it is to be accepted as one of your pastimes. किंतु घट समार्जनी बहुत चाहिए, आज्ञा देख आजी सब हानि दिए. Yeah. So you need many water pots for cleaning the room and you need broomsticks. Then order me. I can immediately bring all these things to you. So this is the way one has to speak. So all the superintendent is saying, so sir, you order us. We will come and provide you everything. So the mindset or the paradigm of a leader in a temple, and this is the right paradigm it is teaching us. We should tell people, please order me. Like I remember once some feedback came in those days about some Govindas. And they were saying about some item in the Govindas, which means you should not sell the old items, You should sell it fresh. If it becomes 3 days, 4 days, if it is not sold, then you give it away, don't keep it, or something like that. So this fellow had written some fight and feedback. Govinda's department, they were wild. They said, who is that fellow who is sending the feedback without his name? Anonymous feedback. They got wild. They replied back, if you have guts, come out and tell us, who are you? I said, don't ask who are you. See, is there any element of truth in what he is saying? If there is element of truth, and I wrote back to him, I said, dear sir, your feedback is like gulab jamun for us. Because unless somebody tells us how to improve, where is the scope for improvement in life? Imagine if somebody is always praising us, we will become spoiled brats. We will become like that Indra, who every year he got puja and he became spoiled because of too much, continuous glorification. There should be somebody to puncture our ego also, isn't it? False ego. So honestly speaking, I am very fond of feedback. If somebody gives, and I told all the leaders, our mood should be one of welcoming feedback. Somebody gives feedback. Of course, if somebody is unnecessarily in a mood of blaspheming and ridiculing and sarcastic feedbacks is giving, then that fellow also need to be corrected. At the same time, if somebody is giving in good spirit some feedback, one should be willing to receive it. So the temple leaders means we should be in the mood of serving, facilitating, providing for the people, understanding that people are coming to connect with the Lord. So One time his own Danavir Maharaj had come to Pune. So one brahmachari was asking Maharaj, in the class, Maharaj, there are people who don't come and sit in the Sunday feast lecture. As soon as prasadam starts, big crowd comes. Maharaj, my opinion is those fellows should be driven out. We should not give them. Only those who attend the lecture, they should be given prasad, he was telling. And then Maharaj asked him, are you the Annadata? Are you the provider of grains for the 8.4 million species of life? Yeah. He said, no, Maharaj, he said, see, Krishna is providing them. Why are you so envious? He was asking. And then he said, today they will eat prasad and go. Tomorrow they will sit in the kirtan. And day after tomorrow they will hear the class. And 4 days later they will join the temple also. They'll become a part of the congregation or they will join. Devotion service, it blossoms gradually. So he said you should be very happy to see the jivas eat prasad. We say, Chaturveda Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swadvanna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sanghan Tatvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Mande Guru Shri Charanaravintam. So if somebody is eating prasad, he is also doing devotion service. See, he is not going and eating in some other place. There are so many anath ashrams which are giving food. There are so many places people are distributing food which is not Bhagavad Prasad. But if he has brought his feet have brought him to the temple and is extending the hands and asking for Krishna's mercy, how can he not give? We should be very happy to, at least a drona prasad should be given to everybody. So, our mood should be always that we are facilitating the mercy of the Lord for the people who are coming to us. We are simply servants. We are nobody else. So, we are not possessors of anything. See, if you observe it on a practical level, this temple, you will see that the deities of the Lord will be there. Prabhupada will be there. And we won't be here always. You will see that our body is getting old, 50, 60, 70, 80. One day we will be gone, but they will be here. And they will be here for millions of years. Their mercy will be going on. So, at one point of time, we fellows come here, and then we stay for 20, 30, 40 years, and then we quit the scene and go. During the time, we should act as transparent via media of Lord's mercy to the people. And then we should push off, and somebody else will come and they will continue the thing. So, we should always think like this, that my position is temporary. Lord and Prabhupada, their position is eternal. So, therefore, the superintendents have a right attitude here. They are saying that you need many water pots and rooms, order us. We will bring it for you, they are saying. Nutana eka shata gata shata samarjani Padichani adila prabhara icha jani. One of you have a mic, another mic you have. Please read that translation.
As soon as the superintendent understood the desire of the Lord, he immediately delivered 100 new water pots and 100 brooms for sweeping the temple.
Yeah. So, 100 new water pots, 100 brooms for sweeping the temple. So they got it. Aradhine prabhatelaya nijagana Shrihaste Savarange Lepila Chandana.
The next day,
Yeah.
early in the morning, the Lord took his personal associates with him and with his own hands smeared sandalwood pulp on their bodies.
Mahaprabhu, many times you will find in welcoming the Vaishnavas in Attaranala also, Mahaprabhu garlands them and applies chandan on their forehead and shoulders. Or Mahaprabhu will send Saru Damodar, and other associates to go and receive them from Attaranala sometimes. So one thing is Mahaprabhu is very particular about treating the Vaishnavas and their bodies in a very sacred way. So we should know that the bodies of Vaishnavas, which is decorated by 12 marks of tilak in 12 places, it's a very sacred body which is very dear to Krishna. Like our Lord Shiva said, Aradhananam hi sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. He says the best worship in this world is Vishnu worship. Better than that Vishnu worship is worshipping his devotees. He says. So Mahaprabhu is teaching that by his example. And the morning when devotees took bath and finished their duties and everything and came, Mahaprabhu is applying chandan on their bodies. Srihaste dila savare eka eka marjani Savaganalaya Prabhu Chalilapani. In the hand of each of the Vaishnava devotees, he gave them one broomstick. Savaganalaya Prabhu, taking all of them with him, he personally proceeded ahead to the Gundica temple. Gundica mandire gela karite marjana. Prathame marjanilaya karila shodhana. Yeah.
In this way, the Lord and his associates went to cleanse the Gundicha temple. At first, they cleansed the temple with the brooms.
Vitara mandira upara sakala majila. Simhasana maji punah sthapana karila.
The Lord cleansed everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He then took up the sitting place, Simhasana, cleansed it, and again put it in its original place.
Yeah. So, Mandira Bhitara, means inside the temple, when you are cleaning, first you should take the broomstick and clean this. They have the long stick with a bushy broom. You clean all that like this, and then you make it all fall to the ground. And then after that, you clean the wall. And then you clean the corners and dust everything, and then throw all the dust out. Then when you are throwing water also, first throw water on the ceiling, then throw water on the wall, then throw on the ground. You understand why this order? We have to follow this order. Imagine, for example, first I sweep the floor and water the floor, and then I bring the broomstick to do this. Then all the dust will fall on the wet floor. They will all stick. Correct, no? Therefore, one should be intelligent also while doing service of the Lord. So Prabhupada said enthusiasm means endeavoring with intelligence. So first, that's why he's saying Mandira Upara. He's saying first you should clean the top and make all the dust fall to the ground. And then sweep it all out, throw it out. Yeah. Then Mahaprabhu is sitting in the Simhasana and cleansed it. So Mahaprabhu is the leader of the team here, and all other Vaishnavas are with him. So those who are in the leadership, they have to take those services which are highly responsible, which involve big money, or which involve reputation, or which involve, meticulous care has to be taken. Like once Prabhupada was having Vyas Puja, His Holiness Tamaksham Maharaj had arranged one young devotee to do puja for Prabhupada. And he was little busy managing, organizing. When Vyas Puja started, Prabhupada said, "Where is Tamal?" He said. Then devotees went and called him. Prabhupada said, "Why is some young devotee worshipping me? It's improper. The senior most devotee should worship." And then he called for Tamal. Then Tamaksham Maharaj started worshipping. So he understood that this is the standard. Similarly, prasadam serving also. Bhakti say that the senior devotee should serve. The reason is, when senior devotees serve prasad, people who are receiving prasad will develop a very reverential attitude and accepting it as Lord's mercy. But if very young people are serving, people probably may not take it so seriously. All the items should be given. Like sometimes our children want to serve in the temple, like taking the flower, giving it to Prabhupada, or showing the lamp and everything. And we also allow the children sometimes, giving them opportunity. But the problem is, I saw one time 2 children were fighting one another for the flower. Tulasi, after worshipping Tulasi, that fellow want to give both the children are showing hand. And they're catching each other's collar. I will take it, you will take it. So, therefore, either the children should be very nicely trained for attitude, after which they can be given the service. Otherwise, all the services should be done by people who have developed some amount of seva bhava. Without seva bhava, if people do service, they can actually do like ruthlessly or recklessly they may do, which is not proper. Therefore, especially in the temple, at home we may give chance for everybody. In the temple, one has to be very careful in a public place. When we are, like you can see here, amongst all the places in Gundica temple, which is the most important place? Simhasan. Why? Because who is going to sit in the Simhasan? Jagannath Bala Subhadra are going to sit there. So Mahaprabhu said, you guys clean all the temple, I will personally clean Simhasan. So that is a leader of the whole group. He is taking care of the most vital service. Because you cannot compromise on that service. You see somebody is cleaning the Simhasan, he's just putting it like this. No, sir, if it's inattentive, it will become aparad. Correct, no? Somebody is sneezing the nose on the Simhasan. So Mahaprabhu was very... In fact, Mahaprabhu, while cleaning the Simhasan, you will read, he cried tears. Yeah, along with the waters are mixed with his tears. With such a bhava he did the service. Chota Bada Mandira Kaila Marjana Shodhana Pache Taiche Shodhila Sri Jaga Mohana.
Thus, the Lord and his companions cleansed and swept all the temple's buildings, big and small, and finally cleansed the area between the temple and the Kirtan hall.
Charidike Shata Bhakta Samarjani Kare Apani Shodhena Prabhu Shikhana Savare.
Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others.
The leader means one who sets an example. Yadyada acharati sreshthas tatta deve taro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokasta dhanuvartate. Krishna says that the leader set the trend and the followers follow. So what the leader does is a very important thing. My spiritual master had gone to one temple, and they had, in that temple, they felt that many fellows are not coming for the morning program. It's a very weak morning program. So, and after chanting time, nobody sits, everybody goes out. So they had told him to speak on the importance of morning program and chanting and attending Bhagavatam class. So my spiritual master was giving a lecture. So he was telling in the lecture, if you are sleeping in the morning hours, you are loudly preaching to the world. Don't get up for Mangalarti, it's boring. And in the temple hall, if you don't sit and chant with other devotees, you go out. You are loudly preaching to the world. Temple hall chanting is boring. Get out. So he said, many a times our actions speak louder than our words also. So many things, more things are caught than taught. Nobody listens to what you say with the mouth. They only watch what you do. They watch your actions. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's style was, he always taught through his actions. Actually, many parents come and say that, Prabhu, please teach our child. We want to make our child like Prahlad Maharaj. We want him to become a pure devotee. But the problem is, they themselves don't attend the Bhakti Vriksha parallel class, which goes on for the parents. They want to put the child in the class, and they want him to behave like Prahlad purely. But then they want to go for a movie or somewhere outside. Then the child will say, you are going to movie, take me also. So that is a challenge many times. So what we tell the parents that whatever you want to see your child become, you become that first. And show an example. Like once your parent came, in our garden we have 2 kutirs in Pune, in the camp temple. In those days we had 1 kutir for parents program and another kutir for children's program. So they put the child, and child said, Mama, you're going to be in the other kutir, right? And the mama was looking at the father. And the father said, no, beta, we are just going out, we'll come back. And child said, no, I know you're going to movie. And father said, okay, we are going to movie, so what? I am also coming to movies, he said. And the father and mother said, no, you attend this class, you will quickly go and come. Child was adamant. Then the father said, see, the movie is only for those with mustache. You don't have a mustache now. So you cannot come. Father told the child. The child said, okay, Papa, you go to movie. Mother also doesn't have mustache. She can stay with me. She will attend the class. So children are also very smart. You can't cheat them. Therefore, more things are caught than taught. So the parents want to teach them to do the right thing, but teaching doesn't have so much impact as behavior can have impact on others. People will silently watch what type of lifestyle are we leading. Despite your not wanting, they are going to learn from your behavior only. That's why he says here, Apani Acharya Sabarasika. By his behavior, he taught Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. Premola se shodhena layena Krishna nama Bhaktagana Krishna kahe kare nija kama. So Premolase means the whole activity of Gundica Marjanam was done in a jubilee, with great jubilation, in a jolly spirit. This is how the devotion service should be executed. Susukam karto aveya. It's actually the devotion service produces prasannata actually. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. When we are connected to the Bhagavad Bhakti, we feel some kind of inexplicable bliss in everything. That's why the way we speak, the way we think, the way we act will all be done in a very joyful mode. There is nothing to lament for a devotee, because a devotee will gradually see with advancement, you will be posted on a eternal platform even while seated in the material bodily machine. On that eternal platform, you become vindas. You completely become free from shoka and bhaya. There is nothing to fear. You know that even if the body has to die due to some disease, I will not die. There is no bhaya. And there is nothing to lament, because Krishna will take care. Krishna is there. A devotee becomes super confident. So in that joyful mood, a devotion service is done in a very pleasant manner, pleasant mood. And one should not do devotion service in a grudging mood. Somebody may say, always they catch me only for service. There are so many other devotees. Or somebody says, my name is not in the schedule. One time manager was giving one service to devotee. He said, Prabhu, my name is not in the schedule. He said, manager said, that is why I am requesting you. If your name is in schedule, I would have told you, come and do it. Isn't it? Therefore, if somebody is willing to do unscheduled service, the unscheduled service is another meaning of mercy. It's a very special mercy. If somebody is willing to do ad hoc service or unscheduled service, somebody calls and gives you, we are willing to accept it. I know it's difficult, but if you do it, you will get very special mercy by that. So devotion service should be very joyfully done. Premollasya shodhena. Because who is watching us doing devotion service? Radharani is watching, Krishna is watching. If they see that we are joyfully performing their service, they'll feel so happy. Imagine, for example, I have to dress the deity or worship the deity. I am trying with the nose and doing the service. I don't know why they came like that. You do it. Lord will be saying, hey, you don't like me? You are doing your service like this. It appears to me better you go and take rest. Don't do this, Lord will say. So it should be done very joyfully. Not only they were doing the service joyfully, that joy manifested externally by the holy names that sprang from their heart and mouth. That's why it is that Layana Krishna Nam. They were chanting Krishna's name very joyfully. So, and they were all doing service. And Bhakta Gana Krishna Kaha. Hare Nijaka. Every devotee was doing his own service. He was saying Krishna, Krishna was coming out of their mouths. Somebody was sweeping. He was saying Krishna, Krishna. Somebody was fetching water from the pond. He was saying Krishna, Krishna and giving. Somebody was giving away the empty pot to be sent for bringing water. He was saying Krishna, Krishna like that. So Prabhupada taught from the very early days of ISKCON how devotees, for anyone, anything, you always say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna always. Some newcomer is coming. Hare Krishna. We don't... so one devotee had a slogan on his table, I saw. Hi, hello, chodo, Hare Krishna bolo. Like that. Instead of hi and hello, say Hare Krishna. By saying Hare Krishna, you come one step closer to Krishna. Correct now? So, and also it reminds us, for whose pleasure am I entering this service? For the divine couple. So therefore, Premollase Shodhen, Layena Krishna Nam, Bhaktagana Krishna Kaha, Kahe, Khare Nija Kaam. So it is said, Hath mein Kaam, Mukh mein Naam, Hriday mein Ram. It is said, three things. In the hands we should do the service, with the mouth we should utter the holy name, and in the heart we should carry the Lord. Like that. They were also cleansing, they were also chanting at the same time. They were doing their respective duties also. Dhuli dhu saratano dekhite shobhana kahan kahan shujale kare samarjana.
The entire beautiful body of the Lord was covered with dust and dirt. In this way, it became transcendently beautiful. At times, when cleansing the temple, the Lord shed tears, and in some places, he even cleansed with those tears.
So those tears arose from his eyes, remembering that my very favorite dear Lord Krishna is going to sit on this Simhasana. So he was doing with great joy, the tears of joy, tears of separation and remembrance. Those are priceless tears. It is said when gopis would be carrying buttermilk pots. Actually, they had another route to go, but purposefully they will go through Sankrikor. Because that is a place they anticipated that Krishna and covered boys will come to play. And we can have some tussle with them. And they derived some joy in that tussle. So, when Krishna would take a stone and a catapult and hit the pot, so the gopis would give away those buttermilk pots. But while giving, they gave it mixed with the tears of love, it is said. And Krishna found it more tasty to accept those buttermilk pots, which are given with the affection of the gopis. Because, whenever you eat, what makes that eatable special is not only the taste of the item, it also who cooked it. Like one husband was telling his wife that, his wife had made a rava laddu. She asked, how is it? Husband said, it's all right, but not like the one which my mother makes. And the wife was very upset. So 1 week later again, she made the rava laddu again. She asked the husband, how is this rava laddu? Tell me now. Again he said the same thing. She became wild. She caught his ear. She said, hey, what are you saying? This rava laddu, I took the complete recipe from your mother. A to Z, I followed the recipe. Because you said you like your mother's recipe. And the husband said, yeah, really? So you certainly have improved from last week to this week. But not like my mother. So the wife couldn't understand why this fellow is attached to the rava laddu made by the mother. And what made it special was his mother's affection that he felt. So when eating also, like Lord is ready to eat that banana peel from the hand of Vidurani, What is there in the banana peel? Cows are supposed to eat it. Instead of feeding to cows, she's feeding to Krishna. And Krishna is appreciating that. So, Duryodan ke bhog nakayo, Rok sak vidurgar kayo, Aise prema pujari Radhe, Sham, Sham, Sham. So Krishna is a prem pujari. So wherever anything is filled with prema, that appeals to him. That's even if it is a banana peel also. So in the same manner, you will see what makes any service special is the love with which the service is performed. It makes a very great impact on people. It's true not only for Krishna, even for us. The way someone deals with you, treats you, it makes a very big difference for you. Where there is a respectful and affectionate dealing, and that touches the heart, isn't it? Otherwise, even if some big thing is offered disrespectfully, that doesn't appeal to anyone. So, Chaitanya is setting the standard, gold standard for how the service should be done. Bhoga mandira shodhana kari shodhila prangana Sakala avasa krame karila shodhana.
After this, the place where the deity's food was kept, Bhogamandira, was cleansed. Then the yard was cleansed, and then all the residential quarters, one after the other.
Trinadhuli dhinkura saba ekatra kariya. Bahirva selaya felaya bahir kariya.
After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu collected all the straw, dust, and grains of sand in one place, he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside.
Hey mata bhakta gana karini javase. Trinadhuli bahire felaya paramaharishe.
Following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees in great jubilation began to gather straws and dust within their own cloths and threw them outside the temple.
Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, and he followed it. He collected it in his own cloth and he threw it. And similarly, they also did that. And collecting in one's clothes, see, the upper garment or the angavastra which you wear on the top of your body, it is actually covering the top part of the body. It's a very important thing. So you're using that to collect the dustbin shows how reverentially you're doing the service. Yeah. Prabhu kahe ke kata kari yacha sammarjana. Rina dhuli dekile jane va parishrama.
The Lord then told the devotees, I can tell how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing all the straw and dust you have collected outside.
So Mahaprabhu saw who has collected how much dust. Mahaprabhu saw that. So quantity is also important in service. It is not just, I did some service. How do we do the service? How we did what we did is important. So, like one devotee said, he was given the service of book distribution. So he would take an auto and go. So he spent coming 240 rupees for the auto and distributed just 2 books. And each book is 10 rupees. And the profit is only 2 rupees. So you earn 4 rupees profit and you use 240 rupees for coming. Is it worth it? So he was doing it for 3-4 days. And then suddenly when I saw that, I noticed it and I told the manager, I don't send this fellow out. Just stand in the temple with the book table. No need to go out. So one has to see the effectiveness in the service that we render. Is it worth? Similarly, somebody is, like you have seen people carry the Lord in a palanquin. You have seen that? Sometimes on a festival day for procession. There are many people who just want to touch that because they know it is sacred. They just go and just touch and walk along with it. And they create disturbance for others who are actually lifting also. So therefore the lifting fellows will say, either you lift it or you move aside. Don't just be touching and making a drama of that. So in any service, there are 2 ways to perform service. One is to do drama. Another one is actually perform the service. You know what is drama? And Gundica Marjanam, just have a jadu in the hand and keep joking, talking, laughing with devotees and not doing service. That is called as doing drama. So therefore Mahaprabhu said, let us check whether you are actually doing the service. What is the proof? Show how much quantity of dust you have collected. Mahaprabhu checked that. Sabare jantana, jabare jantana, boja, ekatrat karila. Sabahite prabhara boja, adhika hayla. Yeah.
Even though all the devotees collected dirt in one pile, the dirt collected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was much greater.
See, Mahaprabhu is one person, he collected huge quantity of dust. And all other devotees, what they collected was gathered together. That was not as big as what he collected, which goes to show how Mahaprabhu is the greatest cleanser. Te mata abhyantara karila marjana. Puna sava kare dila kariya vantana.
After the inside of the temple was cleansed, the Lord again allotted areas for the devotees to cleanse.
Sukshmadhuli trina kankara sabakara hadura. Bhalamate Shodhana Karaha Prabhura Antapura.
The Lord then ordered everyone to cleanse the inside of the temple very perfectly by taking finer dust, straws, and grains of sand and throwing them outside.
Sava Vaishnavalaya Yabe Duivara Shodila. Deki Mahaprabhu Ramane Santosha Haila.
After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas cleansed the temple for the second time, Sri
Second
Chaitanya,
time for the fine dust. Yeah.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see the cleansing work.
Arashat Janashat Gate Jala Bhari. Pratame Ilaya Che Kala Apeksha Kari.
When the temple was being swept, about 100 men stood ready with filled water pots, and they simply awaited the Lord's order to throw the water from them.
Okay, so we will leave this devotees with the water pots now. And the second part, we will discuss this throwing water. But till now, what we have seen is once they cleanse the dust by sweeping. And then Mahaprabhu said, don't just sweep it outside the temple hall, but take those collected dust and throw it far away and come. Why? Otherwise, if the wind blows, they will come inside again. And devotees did that. Then again, Mahaprabhu said, fine dust should be cleansed also. So, I will give you one homework for all of you. Madhya Lila 19.159, Madhya Lila 19.160. These two verses you can read. Before you come for the next class, when I'll speak to part 2. So I will ask for a raise of hand. How many of you read it? Madhya Lila 19.159 and 162 verse purports. There, this dust and the fine dust are explained there. In those Nishidachara, Kutinati, Jiva Himsana, Puja La Pratishta Adi, Upashakadi Gana. So very nicely explained there. So you will yourself appreciate it. If you read it yourself, you will appreciate it more. So I can take some questions for 5 minutes. I was very amazed when I saw the temple, because last time I came, probably a couple of years I couldn't come. I was telling them what I saw in the Narayana Chaitanya table map which he showed, that now I am seeing practically ready now. You know, the very beautiful this thing. It has come up almost fully. Almost, I think 80% is over, I think, right? Correct, amazing it is. So, this is the dream of Narayana Chaitanya Prabhu. Long before he made a plan like this, he wanted to make a temple which will be like a cultural center and a place for training and education. And in those days, he made a crude drawing of his own, and then eventually he developed it into a proper design. And then he brought people involved, many engineers to design it, and now it has almost come through. Last time when I came, only ground level was ready. That was probably 3 years ago, I think I came. Very nice to see you. So I was telling devotees that Krishna is increasing facilities for all of you because you are preaching so well. Your preaching is overflowing from this place to that place now. And in between there is a beautiful garden also. Many fellows who come to sit in the garden will naturally be forced to hear the holy name. And then they'll come into the temple also. Yeah, let us take 1 or 2 questions. 4 or 5 minutes we have. Anybody? Or we'll take a comment from Narayana Chaitanya on the Gundica Marjanam. You can give it.
I cannot comment, but the way you explained was really very touching to the heart. Because you said about leadership, they should be in the forefront, and you have been an exemplary example for all of us. And I've been, getting your association from the time I started this project. So your affection towards this project and that itself shows that how you encourage everyone. I'm very, humbled by your, time and again coming here and giving enthusiasm and taking this project forward. I'm very grateful to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You see, it is said, wherever you put Krishna, Krishna always expands. This Prabhupada said in Mayapur, once when His Holiness Tamalkrishna Maharaj had brought 70 devotees to Mayapur. So at that time, very amazing that even in Prabhupada's times, the long building was called long building only. It was not so long. Now the long building is 3 times bigger than what it was in Prabhupada's time. So Prabhupada had told Tamalkrishna Maharaj, put all the devotees in long building. So they stayed. And then evening, after lunch and everything, evening they all came outside in the garden. So Prabhupada was sitting with the devotees and said, are you all comfortable? He was asking them. Everybody said, we are very happy, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, when I first told them to make this long building, they were asking, why, Prabhupada, we need so much place? But now you see, you all have filled up the place, he was telling. And then Prabhupada said, Krishna's nature is you put him anywhere, Krishna will immediately expand. Then he told that example of Meen Avatar, Matsya Avatar. Matsya Avatar was in a small pond, then he was put in a lake, then he was put in the ocean. He went on becoming big. So he was telling that nature of Krishna is to expand. So he can't just confine himself to a small place, he will expand. He said, so I can see here also you all made the temple so Krishna centered that Krishna is expanding for further. I heard Jayanagar has come also, I heard. Now, which Prabhuji used to say about Jayanagar in those days, there was one Mata who was eager to serve, giving her place for the preaching. So that has come through. So as the years are passing, Krishna is unfolding and manifesting more and more facilities for all of you to expand your preaching. Very wonderful. Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. So I left 95th verse, 95 onwards I'll start next time.
Hare Krishna, and let us express our gratitude to His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu. So wonderfully, so many lessons Prabhuji brought for our day-to-day life. And Prabhuji started with saying that either we can go through the festival or grow through the festival. Still around 18 days are there for the Rath Yatra to come. We all can hear from Prabhuji and try to read and take part in the Rath Yatra full enthusiastically, and also even one day before Gundica Marjanam is coming. As Prabhuji was telling that the leader leads through his own example. So right from the beginning, even we have got so much inspired seeing Prabhuji how he is dedicated and personally doing the menial services and all that has inspired us a lot. Just to give an example, one day when I was had just joined, we are going for schools for some program during the Holy Name Festival. And we wanted to check some things, whether is it correct or not before taking it to the school. And it was a tight day for Prabhuji, and then we just Prabhuji just lied down maybe 2-3 minutes before, just for a short 2-3 minutes of this one, and just opened the door, and then immediately Prabhuji said, yes, come in. And then we said, no, Prabhuji will come after 5-10 minutes. He said, no. And then come, and then we went, and then again 2-3 more devotees came, and then Prabhuji was attending to that. And that way it was like, no, never ever was there a time when he was not available or the lesson. So it was very inspiring. Thank you, Prabhuji, again inspiring us. Let us express our gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Again, the second part of the class will be happening on the Sunday morning. So we request devotees to kindly take advantage of this. And prasadam is there for all devotees outside the courtyard. Hare Krishna.
And also you are going to the
Hare Krishna devotees will end the Zoom session now. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhobhyaya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.